Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Johnny Hughes with Designzillas. Today, I'm going to be talking to you all about B2B LinkedIn marketing and how you can use LinkedIn for recruiting talent and driving new business opportunities in 2019. So I want to start by saying that LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network. It has over 500 million registered users, over 5 new accounts that are created every month, 20 million different company pages, as well as 20 million different job listings. So this is the B2B platform that you need to be engaging with, building authentic connections with prospects, as well as different candidates for your professional recruiting. So why is LinkedIn important to you? As I mentioned, it is the world's largest professional network. So unlike any other social media platform, LinkedIn is here to do one thing, and that's to build real business connections. So this is not talking about taking pictures of what you had for dinner or talking about the Kardashians. This is actually talking about things that are going on in your industry, career advice, what's going on with your competitors. It's the place to actually conduct yourself in the business community. And that's the intent that every user has on this platform. It's also one of the most underutilized platforms from a marketing and advertising perspective. Because LinkedIn is such a one-to-one connection, it is often overlooked by a lot of marketers because they're typically thinking at the macro level of how to cast a much wider net. However, from a B2B perspective, we've been able to really leverage how underutilized this platform is to generate a lot of ongoing qualified leads. As a C-level executive, you have to also understand that you have a power in your title. Use this to your advantage. I'm going to break some of that down tactically here shortly. But really, LinkedIn's important because you're going to drive new qualified prospects and leads from a business development perspective. You can build your brand's image online and really recruit and convert talent. So today I'm going to be breaking down 5 things. Optimizing your profile, using the advanced search, a recruitment strategy, a business development connection strategy, as well as understanding sponsored ads. So the first thing I want to talk about is optimizing your profile. In order for you to really be able to maximize the tool and a lot of these tactics, you need to make sure that your profile is set up for success. I actually have a 10-tip profile formula that I can share a little bit later. But really that's going to talk about making sure you're thinking about your profile as a landing page. You're building connections. You want to drive connections to your profile. You want to make sure that you're set up for success. So unlike some of the kind of old untraditional methods where there was no profile image or just a lot of on content that hasn't been filled out, you want to be thinking about positioning your profile that's been really well designed, laid out with a professional photo, and all of your content well optimized. As well as thinking about your actual business profile. This is a key opportunity in terms of how you're going to promote your company creatively, talk about the people who work here, as well as jobs and listings. But this is one of the key platforms that a lot of your content is going to be driving people to. So you really want to take the time to make sure this is well optimized. So. Searching on LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn search, this is really the bread and butter and all of our B2B LinkedIn marketing techniques. But in order to really win on LinkedIn search, you have to know your audience. You have to understand how to actually target these candidates and these prospects But LinkedIn offers two really major search options. One is their native search, and two is the the Sales Navigator search. So by default, anyone who has a LinkedIn profile can use the native search. This gives you ability to filter people based on connections and keywords, locations, industries, and companies that they worked in. Connections, really there's 3 degrees of connections, first, second, and third. A first degree connection is someone you're connected with. Second degree connection is someone that you're not directly connected with, but someone that you are is. And a third degree is really, think of it as two second degree connections that are connected. I typically use the keyword, the connections, locations, and industries for my targeting using LinkedIn native search. However, I'm a huge proponent of the Sales Navigator. I do a lot of business development and prospecting through LinkedIn. So this feature, it's a paid upgrade from LinkedIn. So you're actually going to pay $79 a month to have access to this, but it unlocks a ton of additional filters and criteria to query your audience from, such as company headcount, seniority, job functions, how active they are on LinkedIn, any changes that they've had in their jobs. Also, it allows you to do some advanced targeting on your searches. You can save your searches for coming back in the future. But really, it aggregates a lot of the leads that you have into almost its own homepage and its own feed. And it can start recommending similar prospects based on what you're looking for. So it's a great tool. I highly recommend it if you're using LinkedIn for B2B business development. So I want to actually break down a recruitment and business development connection and action formula that we implement and that I highly recommend organizations that are interested in business development or recruitment. I want to start by understanding the power of connections. So LinkedIn is all about connections. You actually rank higher in the LinkedIn algorithm with the more authentic quality connections you have. So you ultimately get higher up, better visibility in the search results. But it also creates the network effect on your organic posts. So if I have 5,000 connections and I post something and so not only is that going to be seen by my 5,000 connections, but if one of those connections has 5,000 people and they engage on my content, then 5,000 of their connections are going to see my content. And so you can see the ripple effect that can create, or the network effect on these organic posts. And it also just really improves your overall personal brand authority by having just more authentic connections. A key pro tip here, always connect from a profile page, not on a search result. So if I do an advanced search and I get a list of 20 candidates or individuals, don't click connect directly from the search results. The two reasons. One is that your profile will show up in the Who's Viewed page, which is actually one of the most popular visited pages on LinkedIn, but also to help you bypass LinkedIn's spam policy. So they actually crack down on people that are doing kind of these mass connection requests. So this is one way to bypass. Also, pro tip, always personalize the connection request. So don't just by default click connect and let LinkedIn send that. Personalize that. Do it in a friendly and professional way. It makes the world a difference. It has 3 to 5 times higher ratio of someone actually accepting this than just a blank request. But also know this is not InMail, right? This is not a message. This is actually a connection request. So think about it as you saying, hey, I want to see content that you are promoting, and I want you to see content that I'm promoting. So here's a great example of how I would use Sales Navigator to actually find new candidates that I might want to promote directly. So first of all, my headquarters are in Orlando, so I want to really isolate that geography and then think about the first and second degree connections. From a marketing and advertising perspective, I think it's important just that people, as an agency that specializes in that have worked in that field before, that's a senior level position. Maybe that has the title of a web developer or a front end developer, maybe WordPress developer. And then you can see that narrowed down from 30,000 down to 7 results, right? So now I've got a much more targeted pool that I can run through. So Sales Navigator is great. I can actually save this search results and call that maybe local web developers. Just so if I want to run this search again, I don't have to type all that stuff out. It already saved it. So let's go ahead and investigate one of these potential candidates. So I can see Stephanie and maybe how we might have a mutual connection. So what do we have in common? We both went to UCF, and we have a shared connection there. Let's check out the website that she's promoting. Okay, so it's actually Westgate Resorts, so it looks like she developed this site. So what I do is I go ahead and reach out and connect with her. And I already have a message template that I'm going to use here. Just go ahead and put in Stephanie and then the website that I saw, which is Westgate Resort. So one thing that's really important to stress is that this is not a sales pitch. I am not offering her a position or even promoting my position. I'm simply letting her know that I recognize her work and I would like an opportunity to stay connected. This is where the C-level title that I have will go a long way. So as someone who's a web developer who's getting a connection request from a CEO who is actually acknowledging the quality of work that she's promoting in her portfolio, I'm way more likely to go snoop out. Let me check out Designzillas. Let me check out their LinkedIn profile. Let me check out their website. And oh, they're hiring a WordPress developer. So that's a kind of a natural segue of how this conversation would mature. But if and when she accepts this request, I would also follow up with other types of communication, obviously, about these positions. From a business development front, I have a business development message strategy that is a formula that generates about 2 to 3 leads per week. So if you want to send me a direct message on LinkedIn, I will share that business development connection to action formula with you. This process really works. Obviously I just don't have time to break all of that down for you in this presentation, but My LinkedIn profile can be found at Johnny Hughes DZ. So also from a recruiting front, you got to think about the paid tools that LinkedIn has at their disposal. Really, at the end of the day, when it comes to recruiting, 90% of the candidates are open to new opportunities. You also have a 1.8 times higher chance of candidates applying for a job if they know of your company. And then 73% of companies see a lift in their career page views when they're running traffic driver ads. So LinkedIn as a promotion for A, your business, B, your jobs, is just a significantly higher ratio of attracting talent. So as I said, there's over 20 million job listings that are active at any given point. And this is just the top platform that career moves happen. So you want to be in the marketplace where these moves are actually happening. So there's organic tactics and paid tactics. A lot of the organic tactics are essentially what I broke down earlier with those direct connections. Paid tactics are actually paying LinkedIn to actually make sure that your content and your ads are being promoted. The first is utilizing LinkedIn Recruiter. So similar to Sales Navigator, this is a chance to really target and find candidates that are open to new opportunities, target them by specific criteria, and then you can also share that job with them directly. So it's definitely a great platform. If you're using LinkedIn specifically for connecting with candidates, I would highly recommend this tool. As well as their talent solutions. So posting a job right on LinkedIn is a way of just making sure that people are just aware of your openings, and this will show up directly on your business profile, but it also will directly connect with them based on the criteria that you set, much like you are when you're targeting someone to find in Sales Navigator. You can also set a daily budget of what you want to spend, and it creates an applicant pipeline that will allow you to use LinkedIn to really understand the kind of candidates that it's bringing to you. So you can kind of thumb up and thumb down those, and it starts making smarter matches for you. So it's a great, very cost-effective way of promoting the different positions that you have available. And finally, I love promoting this. This is the Work With Us ads. This is just such a great platform, which it actually helps visually show the user the associated job and has their picture next to it. So if this individual is using LinkedIn, they would actually see a picture of themselves as well next to our brand promoting that position. And psychologically, it's basically promoting the idea of her working here already, right? And so it just has just a great lift on just the exposure of that. You pay a little bit more for this type of ad, but we've just seen a great return on that. It also helps you block out the ability for competitors to place their ads on your employees' profiles. So finally, I want to just address sponsored content and targeting. So there's really 8 primary types of formats that you can promote your content through. So you have text ads, image ads, video ads, spotlight, job ads, and message ads. All have different purposes and intentions, right? But the idea is really making sure that your content or your message can be seen through specific types of mediums. But it really comes down to 4 major campaign types. The first is if you really want to promote your content. Say you're posting organic content on LinkedIn. You can use a sponsored ad type to actually promote that to get more visibility on your content organically. The second, if you're trying to actually drive targeted website traffic. So if you're looking to bring people off of LinkedIn onto your website, then there's different types of methods used for that, as well as sending personalized messages. So as opposed to the manual method of building those connections, and then once they accept, you send the personalized messages. You can actually use ads to do that. You're going to just pay a lot more to do it. But if you have a really specific targeted message for a targeted audience, this method really works. As well as driving profile engagement. So if you just want more visibility, you want more followers, you want more connections, you can use those ads to drive profile engagement. But ultimately, you got to be thinking about your content marketing strategy, right? The big picture. LinkedIn should be a part of this, but it should be part of a much broader content marketing strategy. Think about how you're distributing your content and how you're going to be engaging with building a brand, building your brand's authority. But LinkedIn is essentially a megaphone that you want to really be promoting this type of content to serve a purpose, part of your holistic strategy. Thinking about your audience, the type of content you're promoting, when you're promoting it, where you want them to go once they engage with it, such as your website or landing page, and then how do you convert them from those websites and landing pages, and actually think about that from a funnel. But really use content to align with your strategy holistically. Again, this is 2019. You got to be thinking big picture about your content marketing strategy, and ultimately making the most of that. So let's recap. Just a checklist here. Best practices. 1, you want to optimize your profile to match those best practices that I had outlined. 2, go ahead and upgrade to LinkedIn Premium, as well as Sales Navigator. So LinkedIn Premium will actually show a few different advantages, but we're also showing a little LinkedIn icon next to your name, and just build some additional authority and social proof. And Sales Navigator gives you a lot more filters for searching from. Establish a criteria for targeting your ideal prospects. So really think about your persona, identify the types of targets that you really want to go after, so that way you just have a real clear understanding, so you're not just shooting in the dark. And then craft a content and action message strategy. So really create 3 to 5 different types of messages and how you're going to actually engage with creating a connection request. And test those out, right? So your job is to really see what's working, what's not, what's resonating with those connections, as well as what happens then, right? And save those as message templates and make sure that your business development team is also leveraging them. Use LinkedIn Jobs and promote with Work With Us ads. Establish a holistic content marketing strategy. Think big picture. Think about how this is just a small piece to a much larger puzzle. But also post organic content and sponsored content regularly. You want to have a cadence when your connections can expect content from you weekly. This is not the kind of platform that you just want to show up a few times a month. You want to create steady flow of a few times a week where you're actually posting organic content on this platform. So I want to thank you all. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this presentation. It's really been a pleasure. I'm highly passionate about LinkedIn and all it can do from a B2B marketing standpoint, and helps businesses grow with other businesses. So now it's up to you to go get them. Please feel free to reach out to me on either LinkedIn or my website. My LinkedIn can be at Johnny Hughes DZ. My website is Designzillas.com. So thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful day.